understanding that and Yahweh Shai, when he say Allah come in the volume of the book, that's where the understanding and knowledge is. It says the verse says kiss the son
lest he be angry.
lest he be angry. You know, when you kiss somebody, it's like that's love. Typically you show love to like a woman, you know, but also you greet a brother with like a holy kiss.
Yeah, brotherly kiss.
Like the Italians, they do that shit. Certain men of the Eastern world, they do that. They greet one another in a holy kiss. You know, some of the Somalians, they do that, man. The Hamites. You see?
And that's what Judas done when he came to meet the Lord.
Kissed the minute. Right. So, you got a precept? Precepts? Any precepts?
You go for
I think it was linked to your one. Okay.
It's okay. Right, so it says, Matthew 13 again, verse 44. Right? Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field. Right, what's that treasure? It says the fear of the Lord is his treasure. That's in Isaiah 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of their times, the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure, man. Right? So this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that's our treasure, man. Okay? And we're ready to forsake all your family to win this kingdom, man. To win that treasure. This precious faith. I think that's an arm. This 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 2. Simon Peter, a servant and apostle of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to them that have obtained like precious faith. You hear that? You've obtained like precious faith with us through the righteousness of the Most High and our Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. That's the point. You've obtained something that's precious. Right, look at our word up. Oh, you guys are Israelites.
How are you? Huh?
You're Israelites.
How do you know?
Right, because what country are you from?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Well, I'd say you're Israelite.
Yeah, that's what they say.
What does that mean?
Israel means we came from dead. Like, that's our...
And then you think he's an Israelite, bro.
Dad?
You know that one of us, bro.
They're my kids.
Dad?
I saw the children. With the mother, right? The mother of the children is from the white. So why father see that? But you know that one of us, bro. You're an Israelite.
Israelite is like David.
You come from Jacob.
He's Jacob.
My name's Jacob.
Yeah, you know. I was saying that you're an Israelite, man. You descend from a man called Jacob. Not Cush.
Abraham.
Abraham was the grandfather of Jacob.
But yeah, you're right. Because Jacob and Ismail,
You guys already got grade 9s on your GCSE for
Ismail.
Ishmael.
Because what happened was, they were the son of Abraham. Jacob lead the Christians. They become Christians after, and then Ismail they lead the Muslim.
But
the Ishmael,
The cool man is Abraham.
Yeah, the promised land is through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
The promised land is in Ethiopia.
promised land is what
Wait a
you see.
minute. Then
No,
who's
it's,
Abraham's son?
The land of Israel.
Who's Abraham's son again? Isaac.
So what
The
religion
chosen
is
land
yours?
is through Isaac.
No, but who's like Abraham's son?
So you guys are Muslims.
Who's Abraham's son?
Abraham had many sons.
Oh,
Jacob,
One of
Jacob,
them could eat thing.
Jacob is one of
Israel.
Abraham's sons. And then Israel.
Isaac.
These guys are Muslims.
No, Isaac, no, Isaac. Yeah. All right, okay.
Good drinking water.
I know. I shouldn't talk. This is, yeah? I shouldn't talk about religion stuff. The thing is, yeah? I want to ask you one more thing. Yeah? There's nothing like this in the Bible. There's nothing you can drink as long as,
You can drink, it's okay to drink.
yeah, Jesus was drinking wine.
Yeah.
He's a very wine drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he chooses wine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as you drink and then you don't do other bad stuff, comes after the drink, you're okay.
Like you say drugs.
Well, what we're trying to say, the foundation of what we're teaching is that there's going to be a kingdom for our people on this earth. But first, this kingdom right now that we live in was destroyed by nuclear fire.
I actually kind of like this place. Now I
You're
know.
not going to survive.
This place must be destroyed. But we have to be saved
Everybody in
from
this
it. So you have to pray that you are counted worthy to be delivered from it. That you are a worthy man,
I'm praying every day.
chosen, and your children to be delivered from that destruction. You have to pray to Yahweh, the Almighty, that you and your children are counted worthy to survive.
What's your name?
His name
David. Christian or Muslim?
an evil.
Huh?
We're followers of the Havashai. Basically Christians, we're the real Christians. Not the ones you see in these churches. They're not the real Christians. The word Christians means anointed.
But one thing I don't understand is why is
There's no Joel 8, Joel 2. Or
Why?
They're
Joel
following
2.
the white verse.
Just go to Joel 2.
Following the white Jesus. Right?
well, is that your message?
But you got.
It's Joel 2. About Esau.
Sir, you said this kingdom, this whole world will just be united.
But the earth will always be here.
So just the United Kingdom.
When the earth will always be here,
Yeah,
I
start
don't
what's going to
with
happen
Joel
is
2,
going to
verse
be a
1.
renewing of this earth. You understand that this age, this time, this rulership,
David, nice to meet you. That's very good. Overtake. Listen, I always read. I always look for Christian religion is a reality. I'm so keen. Maybe one day I'll find it.
I've got it.
you're here right now.
But I need more time to take the thing. Yeah? I need more time to take it. And then,
No matter what happens, I'll say this. Because they're trying to digitalize everything. One, they get rid of cash. They digitalize it. One, they get rid of ATMs and the banks. And they want to digitalize the money. So everything is scanning. They want to scan your card and everything like that. You want to pay this, pay for that.
just scan my credit card.
Still looking for Joel.
About 10 minutes.
Still looking for
You're
Joel.
right. Yeah. Listen, nice to meet you.
Don't take the microchip.
Huh?
When they bring the microchip, don't take the microchip.
What is it? The one that will plug in your body.
Yeah, but don't take it. Don't
Okay.
take it.
I took 2 COVID vaccination. The third one, and you know what? After I take the second one day I had a seizure. I had a
trespassing the tent.
You want to read it?
Spend some little
It's verse 1 onwards.
Joel 2 from verse 1.
This is Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in the holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Verse 2, a day of darkness and a gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Verse 5, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set to battle array.
Horsemen. The scriptures liken the missiles of the horsemen, right? Okay.
The weapons of the Lord's indignation.
Right. So read that again. Read this slowly.
Verse 1. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it.
See that? Is that it?
No, verse 3.
So it's a great people and a strong. Go on.
Verse 3, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth.
See that? The fire devoureth before them, and the flame burneth behind them. Come on.
The land is as the Garden of Eden before them,
The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Come on.
and behind them a desolate wilderness.
And behind them, a desolate wilderness, man. So wait a minute, the land was as the Garden of Eden before them. And then behind them now, there's a desolate wilderness. So what did happen? That's nuclear destruction right there. So when the missiles hit America, these horsemen, when they gallop, when they ride, they thunder,
Yep, the thunder with the hooves.
the hooves, and they ride straight way to Babylon, man. And they hit ground zero and desolate the whole Garden of Eden. After that, the whole land will look like what? A desolate wilderness, man. Coming now.
Yea, and nothing shall escape them.
And nothing shall escape these missiles. Coming now.
Verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses,
And the appearance of them is as the appearance of what?
of horses,
Of horses. Horses represent what? Power. Coming now.
and as horsemen, so shall they run.
And as horsemen, so shall they run. This is fast paced, man. Because horsemen. You saw the sirens, man. So horsemen in any army, that's like the cavalry.
Yeah.
And the cavalry, that's like the power of the army, man. When you sound forth the cavalry,
They spin charge, innit?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're making the horsemen or the cavalry to charge the infantry of the enemy.
Yeah.
That's a difficult obstacle, man. Because the cavalry, that's the power right there. You often see that in war movies, and you always see that cavalry, men on horseback, and they're just charging right through the infantry,
Yeah, mowing them down.
mowing them down. You saw that in that movie, the Lord of the Rings.
2000.
Yeah, the two towers. When you see that the riders of Rohim, they just charge right through them orcs, boy. Just ran them all down.
Yeah.
Just ran them all down, made them all look like pancakes, man. You know what I'm saying? You know? That shows you that horses represent power. So read that part again.
This is Joel 2 verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run.
Right?
Verse 5, like the noise of chariots on the top of
Chariots.
Oh, the chariots, not like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array.
Battle array.
Battle array.
Right.
Verse 6, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness.
Right?
Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men. They
When
shall,
it says that their faces shall gather blackness, right?
Right.
Read that part again.
before, this is Joel 2 verse 6, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness.
All people, all faces shall gather what?
Blackness.
Blackness. So it says, this is Isaiah chapter 13, and this is linebacking of what the brother has read, showing you that these horsemen represent missiles. This is Isaiah 13 verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. When the brothers read, the land is as the Garden of Eden before them.
Yep.
Right? And then behind them is what? A desolate wilderness. So these weapons of the Lord's righteous anger, they're going to be set on America. AKA, in the scriptures, the Garden of Eden. That will make that whole land a desolate wilderness. So it says, howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands faint, and every man's heart shall what? Melt. Melt. Why? Because of what? Fire. Fire. Right?
Imagine that, it's lucky, man. You've got to get visual with this. Imagine your heart melting.
Yeah.
Your
Your mind.
That's grievous, man.
That's like.
More than a like case of heartburn.
Yeah. A mind burn.
Yeah.
Heartburn. It's a heartburn. Heartburn. Yeah. It says, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. And they shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Right? Their faces shall be as flames. But we say that their face shall be as gather blackness, man. Read that again, what you have.
Joel 2 verse 6, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness.
Uh-oh. Come on.
Next verse. Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one of his ways, and they shall not break their ranks.
They shall not break their ranks. Again, talking about these horsemen, aka these missiles, ICBMs. They're not going to break their ranks. They're not going to collide with one another. and destroy one of them, they're all going to hit their mark, which is what? United States. Babylon the Great, the great land of our captivity. Right? We're reading about it right now. We're reading about it. These horsemen are likened unto missiles. Or should I say these missiles are likened unto horsemen. Right? Because that's the most powerful part of the army. Okay? Because here it is, the Lord of the Rings. The riders are Rohirrim. They were outnumbered by the orcs. But because they were on horseback, they won the war.
Yeah.
They rolled right through the motherfuckers, man. Made them like sandwiches, man. You know what I'm saying? So these horsemen are the missiles. That's the power. That's the ultimate power of Russia and all the global powers is their nuclear missile arsenal. Okay? That's why you hear about all these nations boasting about their nuclear missile arsenal. Right? Testing out their missiles. North Korea, India, Israel, Russia with Satan II. Their submarine missile called the Poseidon. Right? That's their horsemen. That's how this war will be fought. Not by sword, not by spear, but by burning and fuel of fire. That's how this war will be fought. Come on, Arvido.
Joel 2, verse 8, neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path.
Right.
And when they shall fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
You two are Israelites. You're not black. So this is black. Right. Exactly. Israelites. Niggas.
Let's get real.
Go on, say it, read that again.
Joel 2 verse 8, neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one in his path,
Right.
and when they shall fall, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
Right, come on.
Verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city, they shall climb, they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb upon the houses, they shall enter in at the windows like a thief.
They're gonna enter in. And then they enter in at the windows because Esau got the missile defense systems, man. And the missiles, them defense systems won't fail. Because this is the work of the Heavenly Father. You can't stop the work of the Most High. Right? Most High's gonna make it where Esau's missile defense technology is gonna fail him. That's what I said, they gonna come into the city and running to and fro. And what? Read it again.
Joel 2 verse 9, they shall run to and fro in the city, they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb up upon the houses,
Shall climb up upon the houses, come on.
they shall enter in at the windows
They shall enter in at the windows
like a thief.
like a thief, come on.
Verse 10, the earth shall quake before them,
The what?
the earth shall quake before them,
What?
the
Wait. Wait,
That's
man.
cool.
Because this is for the edification of our people. This is not to show you up. You're thinking that.
No. What, where is this going to go? Where can I find this?
This is going on YouTube.
Am I going to be there?
Obviously.
So you're going to cut it?
But the point is, because you're not on, right now, you're not being recorded right now. But for your edification, you might go and think about it. 'Cause I don't know Do you go to church or something like that? You said you're Muslim, right? Muslim has nothing to do with your people.
I know, man.
Right, so why do you got anything to do with it?
To do with what?
Islam.
Because it's my religion.
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do
But I
with you and your people.
But you've got things to do
What
with
you should
my
believe in is your people.
I believe in my people, my religion.
You and your people.
I believe we pray.
You have your own specific. We're not all the same. Come on now, you know that. Now we're the man to man. You're a man yourself.
So
You as a man, you have your own specific.
Can I ask one question?
Well, let me explain. No ego. Let's say we're on the levels. We're all the same people. Like you see us right here. Look, bro. This brother. We're the same people. Right? So you should be looking for the restoration of us. Not everybody on planet Earth.
See each other on the planet.
Right? Read that again, so
Joel 2, verse 8. Neither shall Joel 2, verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. Verse 10. Joel 2, verse 10.
You can read from verse 9. Read from verse 9 to verse 10. Because that nigga who came and
Okay, Joel 2, verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. Right? They shall enter in at the windows like a thief.
Well, because when they say about Jericho, that the walls got broken down, they said they're going to run up on the walls. So the walls of modern day Jericho is not going to defend them or keep them. And they said that the horsemen are going to run up all upon the walls. And you know, horsemen, they're designated for destruction, man. So they're going to run up on your defense missile system and deliver great destruction. So America, that's modern day Jericho. This is Joshua chapter 6. Let me start from verse 1 here, and then I'm going to jump to verse 18. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. And Yahweh said unto Joshua, See, I have given unto thine hand Jericho, into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. Right? Let me jump down to verse 18. And ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing Lest ye make yourselves accursed. When ye take of the accursed thing, and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. For all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto Yahweh. They shall come into the treasury of Yahweh. So the people shouted when the priests blew the trumpets. And it came to pass, when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city.
That's right.
So what's going to take the city of Babylon? Missiles, man.
And Yahweh Shai.
Yeah. Isaiah 50. Hold on. So Brad, you got something, bring it out. Bring that out.
Same.
Bring it out. Same thing.
Joel 2, verse 10. The earth shall quake before them.
Right.
The heavens.
Wait, start with us.
Verse 9.
Yeah.
Joel 2, verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall.
Right, run upon what?
The wall.
Right.
They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief.
They shall enter in as at the windows like a thief. What's that in Isaiah?
You can imagine the thief coming in like just breaking in the house, man.
Isaiah 24 verse 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. What it says, for the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. Why the foundation of the earth shake? Because the missiles, man. The windows from an eye are open in the ozone layer, man.
Yeah.
And the missiles come down, boy. And the foundation of the earth do shake. Right?
Real to and fro like a drunkard.
Like a drunkard. Read on. It says, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved, man. Something that's dissolved. Not just been burned up, man. Just dissolved.
Like when you throw salt in the smell.
It's been melted, like. The thing that's evaporated is dissolved. So in this age, this rulership, this world is going to be what? Evaporated, man. It's be done. Finished. That's the set time of the affliction of Zion, when it will be accomplished, man. That the earth is clean, what? Dissolved. So this whole rulership, what it says here, the virgin daughter of Babylon sit down in the dust. Right? Come down and sit down in the dust.
Oh, daughter of Babylon.
Yeah, because your throne has been dissolved, man. Right? So it says, it says, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. Clean, man. So fire is a cleaning agent.
Yep.
It's clean, dissolved, man, like a speedy riddance. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
It's wiping the floor clean of the bosom of destruction.
Yep.
Right? Hold on, wait a minute. The earth is moved exceedingly. Why? Because of that, the earthquake. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard.
like a drunk man in the night.
It's like, yo, man. That's how the earth's gonna be. This rolling to the fro, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. Man, Esau's not gonna never come back into power, man. He's never gonna rise up.
Not going to be no third renaissance.
Exactly. You know, shall fall and not rise again. Give all praises, man. We need these horsemen, these metaphoric horsemen to come, which is these missiles, man. You are going to say something?
Yeah. Just a quick one, because we're talking about America being dissolved, right? It's going to be like a sacrifice, like a burnt offering to the Lord. This is Isaiah 34 verse 6. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys and rams. And Yahweh have a sacrifice in Bosra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So that modern day Bosra, modern day land of Idumea, is Babylon the Great. So there's a great sacrifice that the Lord's going to have there with when the nukes hit and the flames come up. It's going to be like a burnt offering.
Yeah, a burnt offering, man. Because a burnt offering, I mean, it's like 2 lambs twice every day. That was burnt.
If I may, it's kind of funny because in Genesis 4, Esau couldn't offer the right sacrifice. He offered the vegetables and the fruit of the ground.
Cain.
Yeah, Cain. So I said Esau came in his previous incarnation. But the funny thing is, he's going to be that sacrifice. He's going to be the one getting burnt up.
It's the third part of men. You know? But yeah, continue reading for you this. Then the earth shall quake before them, something like that.
Joel 2 verse 10, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
That's deep. Read that part again.
Joel 2 verse 10, the earth shall quake before them,
Right.
the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
So not ordinary horsemen don't do that. Ordinary horsemen don't cause the moon and the stars to withdraw their shining. So we know these are not an actual cavalry unit. This is referring to nuclear missiles, man. Continue reading.
Joel 2 verse 11, and the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. The day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and
Right.
you can abide it.
Because it said that the stars and the moon shall withdraw their shining. But that's deep because it says in
Check it out when that dust, what do you call it?
Mushroom.
The mushroom cloud comes up, it's gonna blanket things out.
That's in Joel, man. Hold on, I'm tripping, bro. Hold on. Hold on. These are Matthew's chapter 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. It's like the prophet was reading. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall down from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be what? Shaken. By what? That nuclear destruction. Right? See what I'm saying? Go back to Joel 2, Verse 2, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. That's right. You see? Zephaniah 1 verse 14. The great day of Yahweh is near. It is near. It's near, meaning we're seeing them signs, man. It's not far off. It's near, man. But a lot of our people say the Lord's delaying his coming.
They put off the day of the Lord.
They put it off, they're like, nah, man, it's not gonna happen in my lifetime.
That's the worst thing someone could say, man.
It's not gonna happen in my lifetime.
They're gonna get caught sleeping, man.
Yeah, because they don't really believe. They're not watching. They're not watching for what's going on.
Measure the time diligently.
Yeah, so like they're trying to delude themselves into thinking that, no, you know, we got another 20 years time. And, bro, are you even watching for what's happening? Are you even looking at what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So it says, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and what? Desolation. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. That's some blackouts, man. Blackouts to basketball, man. Whenever the electric grids go out, can't use your phone. That's that day. When the internet is out, you can't phone your family. You can't contact brothers in the truth. Where are you up?
Don't watch no videos. Don't watch no videos.
You know? 5G is down. You know what I'm saying? Right? Trying to text a brother and don't you see that one tick? No see two ticks.
You'll be lucky if your phone screen's even on.
You know?
You don't know to charge your phone.
Yeah. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like the book of Eli.
Yeah.
You know? It's gonna be the book of Eli, man. You're gonna go into a man and say, listen, look, I've got these KFC wipes, man. I'll trade you with this. Yeah? You know?
Do you know what?
Be lucky if water's gonna be a delicacy, man. Water's gonna be a delicacy. It's gonna be like, you got water, how much for that, man? You know? Because people will be drinking blood of that thing. Blood. You know what I mean? You got something about?
Salaki, what you said was actually kind of funny there. You said trading KFC wipes, man. You know who's gonna need them KFC wipes? Women. So if you stock up on them, they'll be like, oh please give us some wipes.
I mean, yeah, man, we won't give me though. You know? Hey, man, a lot of these women want to be prostituting their bodies in that day. The covering cost for a woman is a man of the Lord, a man of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's her covering. If a woman got a man like that, she's blessed, man. She's blessed. So a lot of these men out here are gonna have no mercy upon these women. And a lot of these women deserve it. They deserve mercilessness. But these women, they're the main scoffers, man. You see, you see when we out here, we're teaching, they're the main ones making mockery. Giving us these dirty looks and shit.
But they love it, man. That's why. This is their world, their time to shine. They don't want to see Esau go down. They're enjoying being fucking sluts and whores and everything else here, man.
Hey, you know stuff, man. What it say? It says, Verse 15, Zephaniah 1 verse 15. That day is a day of wrath. Wrath from who? The Most High, man. And that's the greatest wrath. You can't get more greater wrath than that. From the Lord himself. That's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of
Yeah.
the Most High. He didn't do anything to you, man. He'll pick and choose. He'll be like, who's gonna get this nigga?
Yeah.
Spirits will be like, you me, you know?
Ooh, I got
You know them demons, man, on the left hand side, they be like, I don't get him. You know what I'm saying? They be like, the Most High will be like, he's got all these thousands of demons just to get one nigga. You're like,
he said,
you, rhinoceros demon. Go on, you don't get him, then the rhinoceros come and stample that guy, man.
yeah.
You know?
Precept if I may. This is Surah 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
Sore strokes, come on.
And in a time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
Appease the wrath. Did it say that the day of the Lord is a day of what?
Wrath. Those spirits going to be getting busy in that day, bro.
Those spirits are going to be making their money.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yeah, man, I want to work overtime. You know what I mean? A 12-hour shift. They can't get in. 120 pounds for one day. £10 an hour. You know? The spirits are going to be making their money, man. But that's a day of wrath. And that's to appease the Most High. That's to make him, that's a sweet smelling savor. When them spirits of vengeance get the 2/3 of our people, that's appeasing the Most High.
Yeah.
That's a sweet smell. Their death is a sweet smelling savor. So that's the job of these. There's certain spirits that are created just for vengeance, man.
Yeah.
You don't know the Most High. Come on, read on.
Right. Back in Surah, it says, verse 29. Sorry, it's going to pass. Right, Surah 39:29. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance.
What read that again?
Fire and hail, famine and death,
Fire,
and hail
hail,
and famine
famine,
and death,
famine and death. Come on.
but all these were created for vengeance.
All these were created. So famine was actually created, man. When you hear famine, that's not no damn natural disaster. The Most High created famine, the spirit of famine. When people starve, man. They die from the inside out. Children die of lack of food, nutrients, man. The Most High created that. Hail, fire, death and famine. These were created. Come on now.
Teeth of wild beasts.
Oh, teeth of wild beasts.
Like you said, the rhino charging someone, innit?
You know? Because, you know, you are countries in Africa, they're getting ready to take that chip. To digitalize the Naira. To accept a new digitalized currency. All the world systems, all the countries of the world, all their systems are looking to become digitalized. Right? To consent to a new type of currency, man. Okay? This is, again, formulating this new order of things. Whereby this devil is going to look to make all the rulers of this world, right, to implement this chip to their citizens. that again.
Right, so it says Sirach 39:30, teeth of wild beasts. Do you want it from there or- Right, so it says, there be spirits which are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes, and in the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction.
Okay? Because when there's a blackout or there's been a lockdown, remember when there was a lockdown, all them animals came out, man.
Yeah, into the city centers.
All them animals started coming up. They were like, listen, man, all the people, they all behind doors.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck it, man, I'm gonna come out and claim what's mine.
Yeah.
And the animals started coming out. You know what I'm saying? You know, the little cubs and the
Yeah.
little children coming out. You saw little like clips of like the antelopes coming out to the open and shit.
Yeah,
Finally, it's our time.
yeah.
You know?
That was good to see, man. I like that.
Yeah. And that was good. At that time, I was thinking, yeah, man, it's finished. You know, shipping with setbacks and that. You know, it's tarrying. But wait, it will come. You know? But the Most High gonna put the spirits on wild ass animals, man, to get through. That's what it says in Amos chapter 5. It says, you flee from a lion
And the bear
and the bear met you. Someone get that, man.
Yeah.
Amos 5.
I've got a piece of this on my
Oh, you got a piece of
This is Wisdom 11, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11 verse 18 to verse 17. For thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions. Verse 18, or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes.
You're an Israelite. You're an Israelite.
Verse 19, whereof not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also terrible sight utterly destroy them. So for the
Read it again, but read it more slowly. Read it slow.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 11, verse 17, thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions. Verse 18, or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. Verse 19, whereof not only the harm might dispatch them at once, but also the terrible sight utterly destroy them. So pretty much if it's time to come, Jacob's trouble. That people may spot. Those are videos where people may go in the forest, you might spot something unusual. Now about Shiva Shah could bring those new created beasts, and it says in Wisdom 11 verse 18, newly created creatures. Newly created wild beasts. Unknown wild beasts.
Let's get back to this.
And you call for Amos, yeah? So Amos 5 from about verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion
Right?
and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light?
So read that part again.
Right, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him.
So, you know, you running down the alleyway, man. You know, then you see a lion turn around, and then like quickly run.
Duck,
You jump over a fence, man.
Bump into Yogi Bear.
Yeah, you jump over a fence, man. You jump over a fence. And then what?
Yeah, it says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him.
And then you jump over the fence, man. You see a bear just to stand up like that. You know, a bear just to stand up like that, man. You like, it's not you know, go on.
Right? And he went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him.
So you know, bears. You run from a bear. You can't run from a bear because a bear can swim, a bear can
climb.
run, and a bear can climb. There's no way out, man. When you be a bear, it's finished.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, man. I'm about to pray now. Like, I'm finished now. You know,
If
man,
I
that's
may,
a grizzly.
slap
Be a grizzly, man. Especially a female grizzly.
Yeah.
You run into her children and he's like, oh shit, you're done, man. The female one is more aggressive than the male one.
Yeah, to defend the cubs.
Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah.
anyway, so that you run like hell, you finally get away from the grizzly,
Duck into a house.
then you like, like you lean your hand up on the wall, you're like, and you see some little serpent
Yeah.
come to bite you, you're gonna beat me.
Right, so it says, and it's funny because you were saying, if I may, you were saying that you can't escape a bear. It can climb, it can swim, it can run. The scripture says a man went into a house.
Yeah,
So that's probably the only way you're going to get away
That's the
from
only
the
way
bear.
from the bear.
Just go now and shut the door, and then
You
the
lock it.
snake's in
You
there.
lock it. You
Yeah.
lock it. You lock the door. Yeah, you're in the house now. You're like, you know, you're gonna get it, man.
Right, so it says, yeah, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or he went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him.
Right.
Shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it?
Yeah, because the Most High, if you're over 2/3, the Most High is gonna find a way to get rid of you. No matter what you think you evaded, the Most High is gonna send the Spirit to get rid of you. If you're 2/3.
Yeah.
You're not gonna escape. You think you got from one trouble, you got away from the next trouble. You think you got away, the Most High is gonna get something to get rid of you, man. Okay? That sounds like a perfect movie. Like what's that movie? What's it? What's it? When like they escape death.
Final destination.
Very Final Destination. Final Destination, man. The people, they escape death, but death found different ways to get rid of all the people. They say that. They thought they got away from one instance, but death found a way to get rid of them one by one. Right? That was years ago. Final Destination.
Yeah.
That was years ago, man. But yeah, that's Final Destination right there. You know. Again, because it's your destiny to die. If you're in 2/3, it's your destiny to be destroyed, man. Right? Teeth of wild beasts. That's the spirits created for vengeance. To get rid of you. Meaning, if you to die, it was your portion to die. The spirits created for vengeance to get rid of you, specifically. Because you weren't chosen. You weren't of the elect. But if you're off the elect, the Most High's got certain angels, spirits guiding you, man, out of these troubles. Most High's gonna be what the guide of them who keep my what? Commandments and precepts. The Lord gonna guide you on a spiritual level. Most High's not gonna come down and say, "Let's go that way, go this way." But the Most High's gonna put a spirit upon you. Say when the Most High's put a spirit upon the 2/3 or upon teeth of wild beasts or serpents to get rid of the 2/3, the Most High gonna put a spirit upon you and say, "Listen, go that way, go this way, whatever."
Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
In all your ways acknowledge him. Because he's going to be your stability in that time. That's your treasure. The fear of the Lord is your treasure, man. That's what it says, walk by faith and look by sight. Like Abraham, when he came to the land of Canaan, he didn't know that land. But he went there not knowing wheresoever he went. But he walked by faith. The Lord told him, listen, I'm going to lead you to a land where your seed will inherit. So he walked by faith. But he walked into a land, he didn't know where the hell he was going. But it was by faith. So that's the only thing we're going to have to guide us in that time. But it might be your portion to get arrested. Take her to, I don't know how these elites got it set up with, concentration camp, execution chambers, the guillotines. They're going to have all that prepared. Man. So we don't know how that's all going to be set up, like how they arrest you, they might come to your houses, break down your doors. The scriptures that tell you that's going to happen. Still destroying those that fear the Lord. That's in 2 Ezra 16. Right? What precept bring it up?
No, I've used all the ones I've got.
Right? Back in Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 15, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, man. A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. Hold on, I've got the precepts here. Right. Ezekiel 34 verse 12. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Right? In the cloudy and dark day. So when the Lord comes, it's going to be a cloudy and dark day. It's not going to be some bright, you know? It's going to be a cloudy and dark day, man. Right? Your precepts. It says Isaiah chapter 9 verse 19, through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. Read that again. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened. Nuclear destruction, man. Because you go to Revelation 14, it says the wrath. I forget how it goes. Hold on. It says Revelation 14 verse 10. Again, let me start from verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, going to what the microchip, the same shall drink of the wine of what? the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with what? Fire and brimstone. In the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of what? The Lamb. Use what? Yahweh Shai. Let's talk about the nuclear destruction. Those that participate in the pleasures of Egypt, this modern day time, man. You take that chip, you're going to be destroyed in what? That nuclear fire, man. Which is what it resembles as the wrath of the Most High. In the presence of what? Yahweh Shai and the angelic forces, man. Which the elect will be delivered from. It's a lock. Where was that before? Is that for now? You get everything slow. Well, quite a few precepts here. You bring them up.
You want to hold something?
Huh?
You want to get something?
Give me Isaiah 34.
Come. Do you want it from the top?
Verse 5.
Alright. Isaiah 34 verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Read that again, read that again.
Isaiah 34 verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Again, nuclear destruction. Come on now.
Verse 6. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys of rams. For Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Right, the Lord have a sacrifice in Bozrah. Bozrah is another city in the land of Edom. Right? And who is Edom? Who is Esau Edom? The so-called white man himself.
That's right.
So modern day Bozrah or Edom, right, is where? America, man. Okay? So the Lord have what? A sacrifice in that land.
Yep.
Meaning all the so-called white people there, we descend from this Esau himself, the progenitor of the so-called white race, the Edomites, the sons of the wicked. There's a day, an hour, and a year to slay the third part of men, man. Which is them. These damn devils. Okay? Because what does Scripture say? The land cannot be cleansed but by the blood of him that has shed it. So these Edomites, the reason why they're going to be destroyed, because they're their ancestors coming back in the reincarnation. They got to pay for what they did in their past life, man. Right? They're not innocent. Scripture says, prepare slaughter for their children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
Yep.
Because they are their fathers, man. Coming back, they're not innocent. They're not, they didn't do no wrong. You did wrong because you are your fathers coming back. The third or fourth generation. You are them. But like if an Edomite come up now and you try to tell them that, they're not going to understand it.
That wasn't me.
It weren't me. You know? That was my granddaddy. But they're not spiritual. You just got to tell them something they can understand and say, listen, man, you basically, how can I say? You prospered over what your forefathers did. You know? So read it again. Who's reading?
I was reading.
Read that again.
Right, so this is back in Isaiah 34. Verse 6. The sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
So it said the sword of the Lord is going to be filled with blood. See, when the Most High is going to reach his hand down from the sky
Yeah,
and it's like,
swinging and slaying.
nah, it's metaphoric, man. The scriptures have to be interpreted. That's why I said that I've set up pastors that will feed you with knowledge and understanding. So you understand what these precepts is talking about. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, then there a little. You gotta have men that gonna guide you in the understanding of these scriptures, man. Right? The sword of the Lord is bathed in blood.
Jesus.
You know? And you don't understand what that's talking about. That sword is talking about missiles, man. And the blood is talking about that it's all the people that's going to be killed, man. In America. All of the grapes, the blood of the grapes. You know? And the scripture's talking about how, you know, the Lord's going to tread the grapes and
his
stuff
wrath.
like that, yeah. You know?
His fury is staining his raiment.
Right. So, Salaka, read that again. I was just watching it.
That's alright, that's alright. Once again, Isaiah 34 and 6. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For Yahweh have a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Right?
Can I jump down to verse 8?
Hold on. Go on.
Yeah. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
For the controversy of Zion. You see? For the controversy of Zion. Who is Zion? The Israelites. So that's why these missiles are coming. This is why this third world war is going to be orchestrated because of us. So we're the center of everything. That's how important we are. We're so important that everything, all the global matters that's happening around the world is happening because of us. So we're the center of it for the controversy of Israel, of Jacob. For what they have done. For what this devil has done. The so-called white man. The things that he has wrought. Right? They said what this land can't be cleansed. It can't be cleansed because this woman has been made drunken with our blood.
Yeah.
So the only way there's going to be a balance is by the blood of him that has shed that blood, man. And that's why the Most High has prepared the weapons of his indignation. Right? Which is those missiles. To bring about the end of this man. The end of his power. To dethrone him. To end this civilization, his world, his age, his rulership, man. What's that precept? It's lovely. Isaiah 54 verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and that have created the waster to destroy. Right? Right. Jeremiah 50 verse 25. The Lord hath opened his armory, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord God of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Right?